So it turns out the majority of homeowners don't know what to do when they've missed a mortgage payment, they've gone delinquent, they're defaulting on their mortgage, they're facing foreclosure, etc., etc. Should come as no surprise. So welcome to Housing Bubble 2.0 News of the Week, or as I like to call it, another episode of As the Housing Market Turns. Today is April the 17th. Randy Patrick here, putting the realism back in real estate. Hope you're doing well. This video is brought to you by our friends at Foreclosure.com. If you want to find out and take a look at the distressed properties in your neighborhood, guess what? Go to gethousingdata.com. That's gethousingdata.com. You can check out foreclosures, auctions, short sales, tax deeds, and more at gethousingdata.com. All right, guys, so interesting article that came out here, and realize that I talk to homeowners every day, and I experience this every day. So an overwhelming majority of homeowners in a new survey said they're worried about inflation will impact their ability to pay their mortgage and admit a significant lack of awareness about loss mitigation options. So first of all, what's loss mitigation? Well, basically, if you're not paying your mortgage and you run into trouble, if you call your lender, you're going to talk to the loss mitigation department, which is the area where they're trying to help homeowners get back on track or have solutions to their mortgage issues and hopefully never have a foreclosure. Loss mitigation options are short sale, short payoff, deed in lieu, loan modification, workout plan, whatever. But the point is, if you make the phone call, that's the department you're talking to with your bank, lender, or servicing company. So basically, a lot of people are saying they're concerned about inflation. A lot of people are saying they're concerned about inflation having an impact on their finances and expenses and their inability to make mortgage payments in the last 6 months. More troubling, very few homeowners could identify what triggers a foreclosure. This is suggesting an opportunity for servicers to boost education efforts. Our survey concluded that not a single participant could prove they understood all the benefits and consequences of loss mitigation workouts offered by mortgage investors. Now, the statement is a bit loaded here. So, benefits and consequences, because there's pros and cons to everything. It sounds good in discussions, might sound good on paper, but in the end, are you really getting what you need out of the property and the solution? You never know. So, again, always go to a third party unbiased for that information. Okay, it just talks about different age groups being anxious and cost of living weighing on them. Basically, another indicator that homeowners must be more educated about how interest rates impact their finances. Again, when you have 78% of respondents who are scared that rising interest rates impact their ability to pay their home loans, even though they have fixed rate mortgages. So it just goes to show that there's a lack of education with respect to the whole financing process when you purchase and own a house. Now, over a third of the respondents didn't know when missed payments would trigger a foreclosure. It's problematic. And just 10% of those who had previously defaulted could describe the 120-day delinquency trigger. Only 5% of those surveyed who had never defaulted could correctly identify steps leading to a foreclosure. So again, not many people really know what's going on. Just over half, or 59% of homeowners, knew about the forbearance grace period, while 27% were aware of loan modifications that would allow them to help catch up on missed payments. The response rate, while uninspiring, comes at a time when delinquencies continue at a nearly 2-year slide. Now, I'm not too sure what the 2-year slide means. I mean, delinquencies are still there. They're slowly increasing. More and more people are falling into financial distress. We're seeing more properties have foreclosure filings, and we're seeing more properties get scheduled for foreclosure auctions. So it's one of those things that, I don't know. Again, it's the housing narrative, whatever they're talking about here. Everything that's written, you take with a grain of salt, because chances are it's worse than you actually know it is, or we think it is, and we're being led on here. So now, the reason why I want to talk about this slide here, and this, if you recall, back about a year and a half ago, I did a walkthrough on a property. It was a mess. It was hot. I'm wearing a mask. It was roof leaks, water intrusion, mold everywhere, abandoned. It was a foreclosure, typical zombie foreclosure property. I did a walkthrough here. The video was done on November 10th, 2021, and you can check it out if you want to go and see how nasty it was. And again, it was a bit of a mess. I won't deny that, and I did look pretty awful during that. But that's what you got to do in this marketplace. So I want you to remember what it looked like. So check out these photos. Okay, you can see overgrown, nasty house. Look at the kitchen, destroyed. Look at the mold and water intrusion, holes in the roof. Oh, another view from the kitchen. Oh, there's the view with the fan in the master bedroom. So you can see this property was pretty messed up. This is just a small sampling of what was going on in that property. Now, the cool part about this is that we did end up getting the deal done, and it's actually going to be featured on a television show, believe it or not. So, this Saturday, which would be the 22nd of April, this home will appear on the A&E Network Zombie House Flipping Tampa franchise. So, I'm sort of proud to announce that. Now, I want to be clear here, I'm not on the TV show. All right, I was the guy that basically did the back end work to get it negotiated, to get all the liens down to a great number where it was able to be sold to the guys who are doing the work, and they're going to do their flipping and fix up the whole bit. So it's a great project. Again, this was a true zombie foreclosure, I can tell you. Great case study, but I wanted to say, hey, little shameless self-promotion here. So this Saturday, 22nd of April, it appears on Saturday mornings, A&E Network. There's 3 zombie house flipping franchises. The original in Orlando. There's one out of Dallas, Texas, and there's the local to us here in Tampa, the local Tampa franchise. So I think it's 11 Eastern time on the A&E Network. So check it out if you have a chance. All right. And having said that, if you enjoy the information that I provide in this channel, if you could please hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate that. And if you're a current subscriber, please do me a favor. Can you just hit the resubscribe button? Subscribe again, because I lose subscriptions every day for the past few years here. So please, if you could help keep the channel going, keep the growth going, or at least maintaining my plateau, that'd be really appreciated. Thanks very much. Okay, so moving forward here, all right, homeowners want more education. 69% acknowledging interest in financial strategies from the servicer. Just over half the homeowner survey said they would turn to their lender or servicer for financial strategies before looking to family and friends. So this is very interesting. I want to get into this right now. So the problem when you're facing foreclosure is that the first thing you do is you typically call your bank, lender, or servicing company. So you can see the first outreach by homeowners with difficulty paying their mortgage is to the servicer. Next is the bank or lender. Then it goes friends and family, credit cards, payday, housing authority. So I'm interpreting this slide here to show that, okay, you're going to call your lender, your servicer, to say, hey, I'm not making my mortgage payments. What solutions do you have for me? What can you offer me? What am I qualified for? Just because you're not paying your mortgage doesn't mean they're going to offer you solutions that you can automatically get. In often cases, you have to apply and get approved, especially for loan modifications or specific workout plans. So 26% are going to the servicers, which could be, again, you could have Bank of America as your lender, but when you go into default, they assign the mortgage to a servicing company like, say, Celine Finance, for example, and you're talking to them now. So you can contact your servicer. Other people contact their lender or bank and see what that could do directly. The next group is friends and family. So this is where I have a concern because, with every industry, we have what we call armchair quarterbacks, right? So we have armchair legal experts, armchair real estate agents, armchair, CPAs, like financial analysis or accountants. So people always want to chime in about what you should do or what solutions or what went on. Everyone's got the brother-in-law or the friend of the friend that did this and did that and, whatever. So what I have found over the years, just to be clear, because I've talked to hundreds of homeowners and done many, many deals, all right, in this area, that the majority of people don't know what's going on. The majority of people, if they do contact their lender, the lender is only really talking to them about immediate solutions that benefit the homeowner but really benefit the lender, all right? You talk to friends and family, nobody really knows what's going on with respect to the legal outcomes or the process, etc. So people don't know what to do, and this is problematic because the longer they wait to make decisions or figure out solutions for their personal financial situation with their home, the worse off they are. All that is wasting time, and in the end, the majority of people lose their homes to foreclosure, which is very sad. I can't tell you how many people we're talking to now. They're telling us, ooh, well, I'm exploring my options. I've got lots of irons in the fire. I'm talking to lots of people. Well, I can tell you, the majority of people you're talking to aren't qualified to give you a solution, number one. Number two, if you're talking to real estate investors, a lot of people are going to be offering you, we'll take over your property subject to, or do this or do that, whatever. But a lot of these investors don't know what they're doing. They don't have all the information. They don't know exactly what's owed. And really, it's difficult and confusing. But the problem that we find is that the homeowners are wasting their time. So every day that goes on looking for a solution is they're compressing their time and they're constricting themselves from having a real solution at the back end when they need it the most here. So People are looking to credit cards, so people will go to credit cards to use them for cash advances or to pay their mortgages until the credit cards are maxed out. They'll go to payday loans, as you see, just to get a short-term payment, but that'll max out as well too. Then they may call their local housing authority and say, hey, what can you do to help us? Are there local programs? So you can see that the housing authority, which probably can help people and at least give them some direction to some nonprofits or to some, we'll call advocates for homeowners in these situations, rarely used, 4% of the time. The majority of people are talking to their lenders and banks, which they should, but realize that not everybody's going to have the best solution. And then the other majority is friends and family. Well, most people's friends and family have not faced these situations, nor can they give legal advice, tax advice, just advice like that. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? So this is indicative of what's happening in the marketplace now. So that's why when you take a look at the housing narrative and, people, what are we talking about today? Going, oh, well, housing's rebounding. We had a few weeks of reduced mortgage rates, so have we bottomed out? Oh, things aren't as bad as it seems, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they call this the dead cat bounce, right? This really is that little bit of frenzy as we approach the traditional spring/summer buying, selling, season frenzy, whatever. Yeah, you're going to have a little more activity out in the marketplace, but don't be fooled. This happened last year. We had an underwhelming spring/summer selling season, and then things started to really slide afterwards. I would look for the same. People that need to move, that need to relocate, will be buying houses. They're going to have to take loans that are higher interest rates. That's the way it goes. Maybe they can offset that with lower payments or lower purchase price to reduce their payments to keep them lower. But in the end, this is what's going on. Okay, all these homeowners pay with difficulty. They're sort of milling about. They're spinning in circles. They will eventually manifest into more opportunities for us if you want to go down that path. But a lot of them will just essentially lose their home to foreclosure. That's the process. Okay, I can tell you this because everyone who comments about, oh, there's 40-year mortgages now and loan mods, whatever. I can tell you that that's great. A lot of that is just fluff. A lot of that's just to appease the public, to say, look, we've got these solutions out here. But when people actually get down to the nitty-gritty, what they can afford, a lot of those loan programs don't work, number one. And then number two, a lot of people who jump into some of these modifications end up re-defaulting shortly thereafter. So as much as there could be all the solutions in the world, that doesn't even worry me. And all these solutions aren't going to save the market from all these potential foreclosures. It's as simple as that. Real estate's a cycle. The cycle is coming where we're going to have a big downswing, and all these situations will manifest into true foreclosures. You be aware of that and expect that to come in the near future. That's the scoop, guys. So young borrowers still prefer digital solutions over picking up the phone. And this is an interesting thing I want to talk about. It shows that digital adoption has become more prevalent as well among older age groups and holding expectantly firm with younger ones. Well, part of the issue with respect to forbearance, if you recall back a couple of years ago, is that people were given forbearance whether they wanted or not, number one. Two, all you had to do was sometimes just go on a website, create an account with your lender or servicing company, and click I want forbearance, and bang, you had it for 6 or 12 months. So really, it was simple. Didn't have to pay. Oh, you breathed a sigh of relief and you moved on, and it came to bite you in the butt later on. So all these digital adoption things are great. Let's be clear here. Not everybody reads the fine print, right? So not everyone, some people need to be told and need to have it resonate in their head and hear it for the solutions. So a lot of people who took forbearance were not aware what would actually happen when forbearance ended. When forbearance ended, it means you owe us those 6 or 12 months or 18 months worth of payments you didn't pay. Oh, you don't have the money. Okay, you're in the foreclosure bucket now. We're going to start foreclosure. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, we'll try a loan modification. Oh, loan modification, you can't afford that, or the numbers don't make sense to you. Oh, you're back in the foreclosure bucket. Okay, so this is the stuff that happens. So all these great digital adoptions are really quick fixes to appease the homeowner to go, oh, at least we got a break for a few months here. But most of them did not understand what they were getting themselves into, nor understand what happens when the program actually ends, right? Forbearance is a finite number of months. When it's over, and you then have to pay up or go into another solution, and you have to qualify the solutions. Loan modifications, okay? You may think, well, I can only afford $500 to pay a month. Lender wants $1,200. Well, why won't they take my $500? Because it doesn't work that way. Loan modification is a qualification. It's almost like you're requalifying for your loan. You got to have the income to support the payments, and then all the missed payments, they got to do something with that. All right, so that's why there's some complexities here that most people do not understand. and really, essentially, how can I put it? It leads to a lot of misinformation, disinformation, whatever you want to call it. People don't know what to do, so a lot of times what happens is people do nothing, and they freeze and they put themselves in the worst situations, end up losing their home. That's what I see on a daily basis, guys. So that's the scoop with respect to going on here. In summary, homeowners don't know what to do. It's not surprising. I'm not being critical because it's not a topic that everybody talks about freely in the open world because not many people face foreclosure. It's increasing. Back in the last housing crisis, it became a much more prevalent thing, and people did talk about it, and they learned solutions and learned how to deal with it back in the day. We have to go through that process all over again. But the point is, the longer people wait, the worse they put themselves in as a situation that they can't get out of. And all these investors running around telling homeowners what they can do and how they're going to help them, when it comes down to it, a lot of that doesn't work, and the homeowners are left sitting, holding the bag, and then losing their property to foreclosure as the end result, which is unfortunate. So there you go, guys. So anyway, thanks once again for the views, likes, comments. Please share the video with your family and friends. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Check out the TV show on the weekend. We look forward to speaking with you later this week.